Alright, how are we doing, guys? How is everyone today? I hope we're having a good weekend. Hope you enjoyed Star Wars Day yesterday. Had a good May the 4th. Today is, of course, May the 5th, Revenge of the 5th, or Cinco de Mayo. Of course, if you're a Arrested Development fan, yesterday was also Cinco de Cuatro. So, fun day for everyone yesterday, I think. We are back with some more City Skylines live here on Sunday. It's been a little while. Was hoping to stream last week, but problems with recording some days gone meant that had to kind of get pushed aside, and which is why we didn't do TSW Tuesdays last week either. But we're pushing on ahead. So, just got to wait for my chat to catch up a little bit. We've got Infinite Vids, Pecky, and Lyrically Spoken in the chat. How are you guys doing? Good to see you. And we had some major traffic issues last time with our with our little city. And there are a few little things that were wrong with the road layout that I had to fix. So I'll kind of run you through what we've done. The first thing I noticed was that this junction here, this slip road coming in, was actually facing the wrong direction. So no traffic was using this as a way to get into the estate from this junction here, which kind of defeated the whole point of it. It was a way to try and route some of the traffic to this junction, and it just wasn't working because it wasn't accepting any incoming traffic. And you can see now that we've fixed that, there is quite a bit of traffic that is actually using that junction, which is good. It's what we wanted. Over here, I've made a few little changes as well. Roundabout has been increased to 4 lanes for the most part. A little 3-lane bit there between the two sort of on and off ramps just there. I've also increased this part of the entrance to the roundabout to 4 lanes, again just to try and route the traffic a little bit better. And as we move around, we've got this little 2-lane and then an additional lane joining here to give us our freeway. We could have gone 3 and then pushed to 4, but I thought 2 and then to 1. And I've got a little slip road that comes to here just to stop a lot of traffic from queuing in the run up to the roundabout. And everything is running very, very smoothly around here now, as you can see, which is, again, what we were hoping for. And then the main road that runs down here, it's pretty much all nice and simple, straightforward dual carriageway. I did add a little crossroad just here to link the two sort of sections together. So you can see that I put in the asymmetrical road there to allow double lane turning at each end of that junction. And I've done the same. I thought I did the same over here. No, I left that as it was. And then as we move down here, I added in another off-ramp as a temporary kind of connection over here, because once again we were having a lot of traffic just going all the way up to that big roundabout there. And so again, to help split the load a little bit, I put a temporary road at the moment. It a little bit, but as you can see that this just runs along down here. And then connects up to the roundabout, which at the time only had that junction, the main road, and then this bit coming down here. And I've also added a little split here and extended this bit of road around the side of the park, again just to add a little bit more substance to the network over here as we start to move things around and expand this area ever so slightly. The rail network hasn't really changed. That's still the same as it was. So you can see we've got a passenger train there, a commuter train for an outside connection leaving and disappearing off into the tunnel, which is going to then go off the map entirely. There it goes. We've got one of our normal mainline internal trains, or 2 of them there actually running. And if we follow along here, another problem I had was that there was no connection linking these 2 roads at this end. So I put a little curved piece of road in there. Again, the traffic was having to use the ramp to go all the way down there to come all the way back up if it wanted to go that way, because there was no way for it to get to this off-ramp here and join the freeway in this direction. So I forget who it was, but someone pointed that out in the comments. That's been fixed. So a big thank you for that. And then as we whiz along the freeway down here, you can see our roundabout working very nicely over here. 2-lane road and traffic actually using both lanes, at least on the incoming direction, which is nice to see. And that moves over to our flourishing little central area over here. which is really starting to improve quite nicely. And what I've done here with this section here is I've just changed our park layout ever so slightly. I've got a small park there and a small park there, and then just run a pathway through the middle connecting both parks together, and then we just got a couple of little buildings just there. And I can't remember, are they commercial or residential? They're residential. I wasn't sure. And then over here, if you remember this block here, this was a sort of a crater that we kind of, not a crater, but a raised area that we kind of built around the side of and then just kind of left in the middle. And what I've done is I've flattened that out and I've turned this into, again, a nice little park here with a pathway running off the end and then splitting at this side here like that, and then putting a couple of tennis courts in, peppering the area with a load of trees, and then putting some residential buildings in here as well, just to increase the population in this area a little bit. We've also played around with the budget a little bit as well. We were losing a lot of money, even though it didn't matter because we had unlimited money, but as you can see, we're now actually making profit in our city, which is really nice to see as well. So that kind of brings you up to date with all the little bits that happened off camera since we last streamed. It was mainly just trying to improve the road network and sort out those traffic issues that we're having, and then just tidying up this area just a little bit. So that's all good. JKD Gamer is also in the chat, as is Andy and Scott. Good to see you guys as well. Scott says, didn't see a train sim or City Skylines at the beginning of the stream. If you missed it, had issues trying to get Days Gone footage recorded and having to scrap and re-record episodes because of a skipping issue, which I just can't seem to do anything about, unfortunately, anymore. So I'm just kind of just going with it, and if it skips, it skips. But at the time, I was trying to make sure that the footage didn't do that, and so I lost a lot of time and had to re-record a lot of episodes, which is why there were no live streams last week. It was just trying to make sure that we had plenty of Days Gone footage available straight away. Got a few deaths popping in, as you can see. Not too bad. What's my death care coverage like? So I've got no real good coverage over here. In fact, yeah, my nearest cemetery is there. I've got one crematorium over there, one there. That's pretty much it. So we probably do with a crematorium over here somewhere, I think. Let's find a nice little spot to try and sneak that in. I've got a little park just there on that corner. A little park just there as well, I think. A little playground, maybe? Or is that a dog park? That might be a dog park, actually. We're right up against the border over here. Let's plonk it in somewhere over here. Again, we've got a little plaza just there. Got a little park just there. Let's plonk it here. There we go. So that'll improve death coverage in this area. Hi there, GP. How are you doing? Good to see you. So we are looking at expanding some of the jobs that we have in the city this time out. You can see again very big demands on industry and on commercial at the moment. If we take a look at our info views, we have 22% unemployment at the moment. There's a lot of people that just don't have available jobs, so we do need to improve that a little bit. Now, if we take a look at the zoning that we have over here, you can see there's still quite a lot of vacant zoning that we haven't filled in yet, so we're going to add in a load more offices. We've got our university just here, and this is a prime place for us to add in a little bit more office work space. However, I don't want to put stuff in front of the university just there. I'm probably going to do some pathway and some trees around there. Plus, I want to leave the option of putting a road that runs down here as well. In fact, I probably will do that, actually. Let's do that now. Let's go straight. There we go. Bring the road off down here. Get that connected up. And down there. And that gives us an ideal opportunity for expanding down here as well. Got a little bit of a gap there. I'm actually going to keep that gap so we can connect that to the university as well. So let's put in some pathway. Connects to our university plaza just there. So hopefully we'll see a few people use that to get... and again, we've got this sort of entranceway over here. A lot of empty space. I'm going to put some trees all the way along here, but I do want to have a little bit of an entranceway. If I can. Might not let me do it actually because there's only one square and I can't put in a single block. Alright, so let's just leave that like that for a second. We'll put in a few little odds and ends. Where are the... Here we go, the props. Maybe get a food cart or two. If we can. Where are the food carts? With a little kiosk. I wonder, can I place that over a pathway? No, I can't. But I'll put a little kiosk here. I wish I could zoom in further than this sometimes. There we go, and let's get another kiosk next to it. Just leave a little bit of a space. And I want to see if I can get some benches in, if I can find any street benches. Beer garden benches. High level bench. I'm looking for more of a picnic kind of bench, which isn't here. Okay, there should be something in the park area. Some more kiosks in here as well. There we go. This is the kind of thing I'm looking for. A couple of these. Let's place these next to the kiosk. Three of those should do. We'll get a street lamp placed there as well. And of course, yeah, we want to be responsible, so let's have a bin there as well. So we've got a nice little scene just there that we can add in. We can maybe throw in a little bit more detail like that around our city, but I want to throw in a tree or two as well. Let's try a pine tree. Oh, that's huge. Look at the size of it. Definitely don't want the redwoods or the coloured trees. Maybe sugar maple. A couple of those in. Tree with leaves as well. So we've got a nice little decorative scene just outside the university there. Dan's in the chat as well, and so is Ronnie. How are you guys doing? Andy asks, how am I finding Days Gone? He really likes it. I'm loving Days Gone. I think it's a lot of fun to play. It really is. I don't understand why it's reviewed so... I say badly. I mean, it's received, you know, average to good scores. It hasn't received great scores, but it hasn't received bad scores. It's just... a lot of people out there think it's a pretty average game. I really enjoy it. And bar a few videos just posting nothing but glitches and saying this game's rubbish. I haven't seen a lot of users, a lot of gamers actually saying that much bad about the game. And you have to expect those bitches when the game first goes live. It's just, that's unfortunately the world we live in these days, where nothing ever goes live completely bug free. We've got to a point now where it's just par for the course when you start getting little bugs at launch. It is a sad fact of life, and it is what it is. But the game's been patched a lot really quickly. We've had we launched with patch 1.04, and since then it's also had another 3 patches as well. It's up to patch 1.07, so it's been supported really well. It's only been out, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks? And that service is going to continue. So, yeah, a little disappointed to see it's getting, I think maybe a little unfairly treated in the gaming media. But at the end of the day, I don't tend to listen to the gaming media that much anymore. I tend to pay more attention to user reviews. People who actually spend time hands-on with a game that's been released and had that day one patch. People who get pre-release games often just, get a load of bugs that aren't fixed until the day one patch goes live, which goes live obviously on day one. So they're testing a game that isn't finished, but they refuse. They don't acknowledge that the game isn't finished, and then just say, "Oh, it's a piece of crap." And I don't like that. So I'd rather pay attention to the user reviews, because they're the people that spend the most time with it, rather than a quick playthrough just to get a review out on in a magazine or on a website. There we go. Oh, I need some piping down here, I think. Yeah, a little bit. All right. Who else is really enjoying Days Gone? Is it just me and Andy? Anyone else playing the game? What do they think of it? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Glenn says I've saved him 50 quid just by watching me play it instead. Does that mean you're not a fan of it, Glenn? And he says he's enjoying watching the gameplay, but is only watching after he's completed the mission. Yeah, I can understand that. You don't want the spoilers. That is always the risk if it's a game that you're interested in playing. When you watch someone play, is that you are going to get those spoilers. So I can understand that. A lot of people were doing that when I was playing Subnautica. They were watching me play once they completed it themselves, so that it didn't spoil the storyline for them. And I can completely understand that, because I was exactly the same. Obviously, there was a lot of footage out there of people having played the game, and I was ignoring all of it because I wanted the storyline to be, fresh and new for me. I didn't want that to be spoiled by someone. So I can completely understand wanting to, play it before you watch, in terms of my footage. But I'm curious as to what people's thoughts on the game itself are, rather than my coverage of it at the moment. I'm just obviously, if people are enjoying my coverage, then great. I'm really, really pleased to hear that. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just more curious as to what people actually think of the game itself right now. I can't be the only one who disagrees with the reviewing. There's got to be other dissenting voices out there as well. And he says he's heard it's 60 hours to complete. I don't know if it's 60 hours to complete the main storyline. I mean, if you do all the side missions in there as well, then yeah, probably. I think it's probably a little bit less than that if you take some of those, raider camps and stuff out there as well. But there's plenty of scope. It's getting a free DLC update in June, which is going to add in a survival mode. It's going to get rid of your HUD. It's also going to outlaw fast travel. It's going to make a couple of other little changes as well, I think. And on top of that, it's it's going to have some challenges on a weekly basis as well. So horde challenges, camp challenges, those kind of things. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. Right, let's just finish upgrading this part here. I'm going to make this a... actually, no, it's going to be this road here, isn't it? This is going to be my exit road. Let's bring that in over this way instead. Okay. Freeway does not like right angles. Forgot about that. Take that down there, and that across there. There we go. In fact, actually, I think if I make a change... do this instead. That's probably a little bit better. So I'm going to kind of try and copy what I've done over here by having an escape road that runs through the centre here to funnel the traffic straight to the exit. So where did I just put that in? Put it in just here, didn't I? running straight through the middle. So we need to change the direction on this. Get this running straight through here like this. And change that, and change that. There we go. That'll probably actually turn into normal zoning. But I'll take that for now, actually, thinking about it. Like that. I think that's probably a big enough... a big enough expansion over here. We can get rid of... Oops, not that one. Get rid of that road there and that road there. There we go. Excellent stuff. So traffic should come through here, and then it'll come up this road here. Suppose I could actually, thinking about it. Let's do that. Let's upgrade this so that this has the same, but obviously in the opposite direction. So that's a feeder road that runs up this way. There we go. Some little cut-through roads where needed. Yeah, that should work. Let's plumb in this new area. Connect up. There we go. So we've got piping connecting our water supply in this area here. I need to extend this just a little bit here by the look of it. And just a touch here, just to be on the safe side as well, just in case there is something that ends up spawning in that little block just there. Power needs to be redistributed slightly. Got this zone through here that isn't going to accept power. Got a little bit too much there. Straight down the middle. Perfect. There we go. So let's add in some zoning. Again, we want to do this in stages because we don't want to cripple the area completely. But we can fill that bit back in. We can fill those bits in like that. No, I don't want anything through there just yet. I'll probably put emergency services and or a plaza or two or something in those bits there just to try and improve the building's quality a little bit. Let's fill those blocks there. And let's see the new business pop up in this area. Alright, it's back in the chat. It's been a little while since I looked. William Duckworth is in the chat. How you doing, Will? GP says Days Gone is very reminiscent of The Last of Us, which is one of his favourite games. Yes, it does have a distinct Last of Us kind of feel, but I suppose you could say that Last of Us has a distinct feel of a game of that type previously. I mean, Days Gone being compared to Last of Us is probably the most prominent conclusion or comparison because they do share a lot of very similar elements in terms of the crafting and the limited resources and the whole style of the game as well. But You know, I mean, Days Gone. That's right. Last of Us wasn't an original concept by any stretch of the imagination. It was just executed exceedingly well, with incredible storytelling and amazing voice acting. Some of the best I've ever seen in a video game, or heard for that matter. Dan says, how hard is it to get a takeaway order to correct impossible by all accounts? Yeah, depends where you order from, I suppose, isn't it? Val has popped in the chat. How you doing, Val? Scott says, I want to get Days Gone, but I'm working too much. I don't get much time to play. Plus, I'm playing Train Sim for trophies and Fallout New Vegas. People are still playing New Vegas. That's how much of a legacy that game has for being awesome. I must admit, I haven't played much, if any, of New Vegas. I played a little bit of it when it came out, but for whatever reason at the time I just couldn't get into it, and that opportunity has kind of passed me by now. I've still got a PS3. It's boxed up somewhere. I might eventually break it out and pick up a second-hand copy of New Vegas at some point, but I don't know if I have the time anymore to just sit and do that. You know, I'm busy with stuff for the channel, so I really would hope that they'll remaster it at some point, but I think people have been saying that for a long time now. Lennon Plays has popped in the chat. How you doing? Scott says, really want to play this again, but I'm waiting for all the DLC to come out. Are you talking about City Skylines? Because the only DLC that's really left to come of any real note is Industries, which I think will be due out in a month or two. I think. Might take a little longer than that, but I think it's due out sometime this summer. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Industries when that comes out. That's going to be a great game to play. Mr. Water says, reading the Daily Star review the other day, the reviewer says the story-driven campaign in Days Gone is 60 hours plus also another 10 to get all the collectibles. Well, the collectibles are all sorts of things. They're like the nameplates you see on historic locations, to pamphlets inside of buildings, things like that. To listening to music. There's a campfire area inside Lost Lake Camp. And a band, well, I say a band, there's a musician who just picks up his guitar and he plays a different song every night. So each one of those songs counts as a collectible, an individual collectible. So yeah, I mean, it's not a simple, straightforward collectible hunt like it is in previous games. And I don't think there's a trophy for getting all the collectibles either, which is unusual. Why is the traffic struggling so much? Why is it all filtering into a single lane? Let's look at increasing the roads a little bit. Let's go with... This might be a bit big, but let's try a 4-lane highway just there. Have a dedicated turning lane. See if that gets traffic flowing a little bit better. It's still, look, all trying to merge here. And I'm not quite sure why. Is it all trying to just leave the estate? It is, in which case, why is it merging to the inside lane? There we go. Now it's flowing with 2 lanes properly. Oh, no, it's all merged. A little hold-up seems to have sorted itself out. A lot of traffic wanting to turn off here. In fact, almost all traffic wanting to turn off there. And no traffic really using the second lane to go through, apart from the occasional car. So we can encourage that by making that a 1-lane slip lane and then having dedicated lane turning there. There we go. And if we look down here, do we need to do the same here as well? Yes, we probably do. have dedicated lane turning. So we watch these cars here. There we go. They now have a dedicated lane for whichever way they want to go, that way or straight on. And then they can merge back into a two-lane system here on the run up to the roundabout. So that should hopefully smooth things out a little bit there as well. Dan says, what's the point in collectibles if there's no trophy? That's madness. I don't mind. I mean, I think collectibles... I like the idea that collectibles are there to get by choice if you want to. I've always kind of felt that, and this kind of harks back to the very first days of trophies, that a trophy for getting all the collectibles is just a tacked-on way of adding extra hours into a game when it needs padding out because the storyline's too short. Back in 2009, I think it was, the beginning of 2009, Sony said that all games had to have trophies going from the beginning of 2009 onwards. I think it was January or February, something like that. And up until that point, very few games actually had trophies. A couple of them did, but not many. And it was the developer's choice. So you would just get all these trophies that suddenly started getting put into games that were all just collect this, collect all of these, or complete this level, complete that level, complete that level. Congratulations, you've just finished all the trophies in this game by Terminator Salvation. No, was it Salvation? I think it was Terminator Salvation, the video game. But it was a Terminator game, and it was terrible, absolutely terrible on PS3. And it was so bad. And its trophy list was 1 platinum trophy and I think 11 gold trophies, and that was it. And it was a trophy for completing each level on any difficulty in gold, and then a trophy for completing the game on normal was gold, and a trophy for completing the game on hard was gold, and then that was it. Everything was platinum. Everything else was, everything was a gold trophy except for the platinum trophy. And there weren't that many trophies. I got hold of a copy of the game just to get the trophies. So on my old profile, I do have that game completed, and it only took me like 5.5 hours to do the entire thing from start to finish. One single playthrough on hard. It was an appallingly bad game, but I wanted those trophies. But a lot of the trophy lists had no real effort put into them at the time. These days, you start to see some quite clever little trophies, or quite funny or inside joke trophies thrown in there that you just didn't see back in the day. So I've always felt, it's nice to see a trophy or a collectible trophy not there. And the collectibles are there. If you want to go and collect them, you can, but you don't feel you have to just to chase a trophy. I like that. It means that they've actually thought about their trophy list a little bit. Oh man, my stream is lagging really far behind. My internet's terrible at the moment. I have to refresh the page, let it catch up. As always, streaming on my phone and using my regular Wi-Fi just to look at the chat comments, and for some reason the stream is really lagging on my laptop tonight. Internet connection must be terrible here at home. This is why I use my phone to stream. Use my phone's data plan, because it just cripples me otherwise. We need some more residential. We've got more people moving in. Let me check my info views. Unemployment's still at 12%. Is this an education issue now? Or just a lack of it might be a lack of transport, actually. We've got a primary school there. Is that at capacity? Probably will be. No, not quite. I've got a high school just there. That's not at capacity yet. So there's space for people in this area to get education. What about over here? A lot of people getting education over here as well, by the look of it. 2 high schools, decent catchment in terms of coverage. Let's check capacities. There's the high school. Yeah, see, that's still got space available for students. Where's the other one? It's up here somewhere. I thought it was. I've lost the school. Where's the school gone? Oh, it's there. It was just the wrong spot. There we go. It's the Institute for Creative Arts. And again, that's got space left in it, so it's maybe it's just letting people go through the system a bit better. We have a flooding issue. I forgot to turn off the pump. Let's add in some more living space over here if we can. Schools are going to be a little bit noisy. I don't necessarily want to build right next to those, but without building a new block, it's not a huge option. Let's put some houses on this stretch here, I think. Let's take them up to that junction. There we go. I could do with an internal transport hub from here over to here somewhere. I'm just thinking about building a bus depot or a bus drop-off point somewhere in here. Let's see if I can get this to go in. Kind of like that. Wants to go in about there. This is awkward. Got nothing to snap to, unfortunately. Let's give it something to snap to. There we go. So another little short road there, like that. Take that out, take that out. Got a nice little one-way sort of pick-up drop-off area for buses here. So we need to we'll make sure that this goes the right way, all the way through. There we go. Let's add in a... Oh, I haven't got a bus depot yet, have I? Have I missed the bus depot? Alright, put a bus depot just here. Like that, there we go. So put a stop there. And this one is going to run over to the train. And then on the way back, we'll link up there again. And that's put in a couple of stops through here. I want it to avoid going through there. Now, this is one way, isn't it? So I can't really avoid that. I can avoid stopping in certain places, perhaps. Check my roads. That's one way. That's two-way. Oh, I see. So that's where the two-way bit comes in. Let's add a stop there. Add in a stop. Oops. There. That's this little area serviced. And then just that service there. That's it. That's all we need to do. So that'll hopefully start to get some people moving in and out. And I've lost connection to the internet completely. I might have to piggyback onto my phone connection here. So I can't read any of the chat messages at the moment. You have to bear with me. I did see one question before I had to hit refresh on my laptop. That said, have I seen any news about Subnautica? I am following... Oops, wrong business there. I am following the Subnautica's PlayStation account on Twitter. They don't post very often, but they do post news when they have news to share. And so far, there isn't anything... in terms of news for Below Zero for console. So as soon as I know anything, I will obviously let you guys know. Okay, we're back into the chat. Alpha Rod's in the chat. How you doing, Alpha Rod? And Baz, good to see you. Baz says, will I be uploading any Days Gone today? Yes, there's an episode that goes live at 9 o'clock tonight, which will be after the live stream. So there will be some Days Gone, and then back to 2 episodes tomorrow as well. So plenty more Days Gone footage still to come, don't worry about that. I'm having a lot of fun playing that game, and sounds like those of you that are watching it are having a lot of fun watching it as well, so that's good to hear. We do need some more accommodation. Let's add some in here. Go around the back of the schools. Oh, my pad's playing up. Switch over to a different pad. There we go. This older pad, for some reason, doesn't seem to be affected the same way as the new one. But it is just an interference issue. Very strange. There we go. What is employment at 5% at the moment? That's good. We've got those numbers down. Still got plenty of available space for expanding over here. There's our bus service. In fact, let's just follow one of those buses for a second. Dan says he's loving Days Gone, especially when I die. Oh, thanks, Dan, you sadist. Loves watching me get torn limb from limb. That's great. Thanks, buddy. Really appreciate that comment. I could do with some walkways. Helps out. Yes, those are some of the things that I want to try and add in as the city progresses a little bit. Right now, I just want to kind of put the basic framework in there. You'll notice that in quite a few places I have left space for between zonings to allow a pathway or something to run down the middle of it. Alpharod says, I'm in the market for a new game, but I don't know what. You could go with Days Gone. It's a fun little experience. If you haven't played Subnautica yet, which someone's been talking about Subnautica a bit tonight, then I would highly recommend Subnautica. That is a great game to play as well. And it's cheaper as well. It's only, what, 25 quid? Might even be on sale wherever you are. You never know. Camera is panning all over the place. It's twitching. But look at the number of people waiting at the bus stop. That's a lot. And I'm wondering, actually, if I can highlight the bus. Let's take a look at the line. There are 8 vehicles on that. I think we need more than that. Let's go to 12. Let's get an extra 4 buses out. Because, again, look how many people are waiting for the bus there. That's an awful lot of people. A lot of people using the train as well. So, now that we've got a bus in place for this train service, we need to get something in place to deliver people to the station. Let's go look and see where people are going in and out. It's this main entrance here, isn't it? So let's see, where can we put a bus stop? I think maybe down here would be a good place. And let's start hoovering up some people in this area. So let's run. Let's see. Run to here. A bit of a Mario kind of feel to the music at the moment. Well, I say Mario, it's sort of an 8-bit SNES music, isn't it? Or NES music. Very Game Boy. And complete the route. Okay, so we've got a little loop service through there. I'm actually going to take this stop out or move it. Like that. And then we'll put another pair of stops in down here. Like that. Sam Crow has popped in. How you doing, Sam Crow? 4 AM in Australia. Wow, that's dedication. Right, this bus is going to hoover up people from this part of the estate. Very simple little loop on that one, just to run around that little area. Try and ferry some people to the trains. Let's check buses over here, because I still don't think we have any at all. Yeah, we don't have a bus over here in Florence Hills. That's crying out for a bus to run to the station, isn't it? Look how many people every time they get off. So let's create a new line here. And this will run out to Florence Hills. Where's my end point going to be? Let's see, let's bring the bus that way. Well, I'll just loop through the estate, I think. Let's put a few basic stops in just to get that kind of route in. And then connect back up over here. There we go. So we've got our basic route. Now we can flesh this out with a little bit more, yeah, a few more stops. So put one just there. I can get it to highlight the line. There we go. Put some stops in just there. Over the bridge. I want to stop there. One there, that's fine. Stop there. Bring a stop in. A bit like that. Stop there's fine. I want to stop down here as well. Let's move this stop a little bit. Move it to there. There we go. So that'll ship quite a few buses out to this route over here. They've got to here they come actually. You can see they're all coming from our bus terminal way over there in the industrial estate. They're making their way to their brand new route, and they will start ferrying people to and from this station here out to this nice little sort of Florence Hills village area over here. You can see the bus route is already having a positive impact, buildings improving and levelling up. Nicole's popped in the chat. How you doing, Nicole? Baz says, I'd love to see some episodes of you taking on hordes. It's very possible, even without amazing weapons. Well, it's funny you should say that. I was recording some stuff last night, and I took on, quite by accident, initially. And then, I decided, what the hell. I took on my first horde that I just stumbled across on the street. And so that episode will be coming up in the next few days or so. As you'll see me take on the horde. I also had another, unexpected encounter with a horde, which didn't last very long, and again, you'll see that coming up soon as well. Have I ever thought of going for the City Skylines Platinum? At some point, yes. I mean, I was playing this game an awful lot when it first came out, and got very close to getting the Platinum on my old profile. And this profile I'd have to start pretty much from scratch, and it's just finding the time to sit down and just do that. I mean, I'm like I said, I've got a lot of things that I'm doing for the channel in various different forms, and it's just finding time to sit down and really make a long run, because this is a game that needs a lot of time to get the Platinum. There's a lot of things that you have to do. At some point I might sit down and do it, but it's not something I would do as something for the channel. It would be something I just need to sit and do in my own time, I think. We're going to have a main line that kind of runs through the heart of our city. Run it up to here, and then loop it around. I'll probably have to tweak some of these stops a little bit. But we'll have this main line that kind of runs through, all the way through here, delivering to the station like that. And then we'll have a couple of buses that kind of a bus that covers this region that then drops off onto this route here, so people can get a bus from in the estate to somewhere on this route to the station as a separate line, and we'll probably do something similar over here. Plus we've also got our park as well. We'd like to maybe loop some people over to the park. It is a 5-star park after all. Yes, especially Sam Crow 14, yeah, especially the 1001 Knights Trophy. That one does take some time. You either have to leave your game on overnight a lot with the day-night cycle turned on, or just as you play naturally, you know, it'll take anything up to 3 to 6 months depending on how often you play. So, yeah, some of those trophies are quite involved. Right, let's move these stops and see if we can add in a few extra ones. Or 1 or 2 extra stops. Like here, for example. Stop there, that's fine. We'll stop here as well. Grab the stop. There we go. Let's move that to there. That one to there. And I love watching the people just go, ugh, and just get up and move to the next stop whenever a stop gets destroyed or moved. So you can see this little flurry of people here now moving and re-queuing at the relocated bus stop. It's quite funny when you've got a mass number of people. I mean, that's not a huge number of people, but when you have a massive number of people, it's almost like a horde from Days Gone. You just see this swarm of people just get up and move to the next stop. There we go. So, for example, if I were to move this stop here to there, the horde just races over to the next stop, and then they all come sort of attach themselves to the bus again. Actually, I kind of think it's better to move it perhaps away from the taxi rank a little bit. I don't know. Let's see, where was it? It was there, wasn't it? Opposite. Yeah, we'll put it there. We'll put it opposite the other bus. So we'll send that horde of people running back to the stop again. Cruel but brilliant, says Baz. Yeah. So, I've done this a few times before. I kind of get a little bit of enjoyment out of just sending people running all over the place like this. There we go. So you can see they're all there waiting for their bus. So we've got another route that's running through here. Have we got any buses on that route yet? Have they turned up yet? Yes, there we go. So they're running through. We need to add in a bus to service Dean Park. So let's start with a stop here. Again, you can see we're getting those little smiles of approval from our citizens, giving them a transport link. Start mirroring up. This is actually quite a basic loop, isn't it? Let's just close that off for a second. I think we can maybe make this a little bit more serviceable throughout the whole region. So again, we're going to move some bus stops again. I don't think there's any real people waiting on these ones at the moment, though. Well, a couple of people on that stop. I'm going to have to run to the next nearest stop. Do that and stretch the line out there. So I'm just trying to get them to kind of cover the whole estate a little bit better. I don't need a second stop there. They can just get off at that point and then just cross over the road. So it's kind of a waste to put another stop in there. What I will do though is perhaps relocate the stop to there. And again, you can see nice, easy access to a pair of stops just there. If we were to put in a pathway, we could maybe even get a little cut through to that stop just there, which I might do actually. I might put a pathway in there between those houses. A shortcut. Let's check the stops on the rest of the route. Got a long gap there. Move those across a little bit. That's okay. I can do with a stop here. Oops, I'll just put a new line in. Let's take that out. Actually, I'll take that stop out completely. This one I'm going to put in here. Take that one out. Take that one out. And then do my little loop around in here. There we go. So, we've got a nice little loop around there. And that cuts through all of Dean Park quite nicely, I think. We're going to put in a pathway just through here, weren't we? So let's do that. I'm going to have to demolish someone's house. That's a 2-block house, so that's better. If I can... that could be better. That could be a lot better. Take that up to there. Don't get on the parallel line. Give me the... the actual block. I'm going to have to turn off snapping again, aren't I? There we go. Don't have to follow it like that. There we go. So we've got a nice little cut through there. And that allows those houses to rezone slightly. And then we've got a shortcut from one bus stop through to another. Wish the game had electric buses. They're so cool and quiet. I was on the one the other day in London. Well, they kind of do. They have biofuel buses. It's not quite the same, but they're part of the Green Cities expansion. If we go to transport, you can see, obviously, this is the regular bus depot just here. And this is the biofuel bus depot. A bit more expensive, but instead of shipping out normal buses, it ships out biofuel buses. In fact, let's do that. Let's drop that in. There's my depot. So let's take that out and replace it with a biofuel depot instead. So all the buses, you know, it doesn't change the routes, but it does change the buses' look. So we now have these redesigned buses going out to fill those routes instead. Interesting that they are all going out that way to loop around that way rather than just using that junction there. That's odd. Maybe it's because I've stuck it on the junction. Who knows? There we go. Biofuel buses are out. They are a bit cleaner and quieter and cheaper. Well, not cheaper, but cleaner and quieter. Better for noise pollution and environmental pollution. But they do make a little bit less money, I think, in terms of taxes. Scott says, I really wish you had more options on this to space the buses out, because we don't want they don't all run one behind each other. They kind of sort themselves out over time. You know, they get held up by traffic, and they kind of space themselves out a bit more evenly as time progresses. You can see they're all being spat out still, look. Plus they tend to wait a bit longer at the bus stops to space themselves out a little bit on that first couple of cycles through as well. So they do kind of work themselves out over time, but it does sometimes take a little while to space them out a bit more effectively. How are we looking over here with the new housing that we dropped in? We've got a couple of deaths that haven't been dealt with yet. Thought we had a graveyard over here somewhere. I guess not. Oh no, we do. It's there. And we've got a crematorium there as well, so not quite, maybe it's just not enough coverage across the entire city, and they're out busy on a call somewhere else. It's probably a bit more likely. What else was I going to check on? Trash. Trash services. I think I might need to add in some extra trash management. Yeah, at the moment we only have 2 recycle plants over there, or 2 collecting plants over there, 2 what's the word I'm looking for? Incinerators. We only have 2 incinerators, and then we've got a couple of recycle plants dotted around. Actually, we've only got 1 just there, which could do with another one somewhere over here, I suppose. Recycle plants. Wary of the pollution. It's going to need to come over here, out of the way completely, I think. Bring that out to there, and then go straight just here. It will let me. Let's do it the proper way. There we go. I'm going to put a recycle centre here, and leave me the option of actually, let's do it. Let's put an incinerating plant on the opposite side as well. Again, just far enough away that it's not going to affect these properties here with noise pollution or pollution. Does need to be plumbed in though. There we go. Shouldn't need power because the incinerator should be generating power. So I'm not quite sure why it's not providing enough power for that. Maybe it's just because there's not enough trash at the moment. So we'll just bring a power cable down there, like that. And make that problem go away. Roundabout's getting busy. A lot of traffic moving through there at the moment. Eventually, I think we may need another entrance for some of our traffic. Maybe, who knows, it could link up over here perhaps. But so far, our industrial area is working quite nicely. This is the only little bone of contention over here, is that this is a little bit of a mess. Let's try expanding that road to 2 lanes. See if that helps. Oh, I've got a police station there. Okay, I've got a square of space. Push everything across 1 block. Oh no, wait, it's not. It's not just that. Oh no, it is, isn't it? Yeah. I'm just getting my roads mixed up for a second then. Move this over as well, and this. There we go. Now I've got that space to widen this bit of road here. Like that. Gotta do it here as well, I suppose. Even things up a bit. Go. Actually, no, I'm going to de-zone everything along that road there. I think that might be part of the problem, is that we're delaying traffic getting in and out because it's being held up by stuff turning in to its business along that road. So we'll get rid of that issue. Sammy K says, my videos have inspired him to get City Skylines for PS4 quite a while ago. Able to upgrade his PC to make it run CS, but I still really enjoy the videos. Thanks for the good... Wow, thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is a game that, you know, thrives on PC if you've got the mods to go along. Isn't that much different in the grand scheme of things as vanilla on PC to the console version. They are very, very, very similar. Very little difference at all. Mainly just the user interface is different. That's about it. But once you start throwing mods in, it dramatically changes the way the game looks and feels and plays, and it becomes a completely different animal once you start going for, you know, some of those really big mod packs out there. I'd love to get my hands on some of them, but I don't know if that'll ever happen on this version. Maybe on PS5 and whatever the next Xbox will be as well. I say PS5, it's still not officially called a PS5, is it? Although, let's face it, I think it's almost certainly going to be called PS5. Scott says, probably best to run the train under the road as that slows the cars too. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of, I like it like that. I mean, we don't get very many level crossings in. So I just wanted to put that in as a deliberate feature. I was aware that it would cause some queues, but that's why this area isn't built up that much, so there's not a huge amount of traffic over here. Yes, we've got a couple of cargo hubs over here, but we've also got this cargo hub here, which services all of this area, and then we can also ship stuff out by rail as well. So a lot more of the traffic is kind of using this terminal than the other two. I just wanted to have that feature in there of a train running through the heart of the industry area like that. I just thought it would make something quite nice, a nice little scenic point as it crosses over and then goes directly into that tunnel and stays level the whole way. So it was a deliberate choice to do that. We need to go back to buses, don't we? We need to continue on adding in a bus route over on this half in Myrtle Heights, and we've also got Butler District up here as well. Pleasant Heights I could do with something, I suppose. I'm toying with the idea of maybe extending this bus route up here a bit. I might have a second bus route that runs up through here. I don't know yet. Tell you what, let's get a bus that runs from the station. Look at all those people. Look how many people are waiting at the bus stops. That's crazy. Let's add in a new line. Let's add it in there. Oh no, I added a stop. I have. Let's create a new line. And we'll run this up this way. Don't want to stop right by the roundabout, but I will stop on the approach over here. And this one's going to run... Ooh, do I want to go up that high? No. Let's bring it in here. Tag those bits there, and then we've got a stop here for the park. Actually, let's take it up top. Come back down this way. And stop there. There. And complete the loop. So we've got something that kind of feeds from the station over to Empire City Park over here. That'll hopefully get some new people involved in that. And then we've also got Myrtle Heights over here. Myrtle Heights is pretty big. I'm toying with the idea of maybe having two different buses run through this district. One that runs over this way, and then one that runs maybe over this way. Or actually no, it's Myrtle and Butler, the two separate districts, aren't they? Maybe we'll just treat them as one area for a bus. Might be an easier way to do this. So if we have a route that starts here, bring it in through here. It's going to end up looping back up this way and then connecting up there through here. So see. I'll try and get good coverage on the route where I can. This is the problem when you've got a big district like this, is trying to make sure you get good coverage on either side. I think we're okay because there's kind of this route here. I don't know. Let's play it safer. Let's go with two separate bus routes that run through the heart of the district. Is that a path? Oh, it is a road, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to create the route first, and then we'll tweak the stops once we're done. And that was the loop around there, doesn't it? Like that. There we go. move these stops over. And then we can put in another set of stops just here. Right, and then we've got our split here. 1, 2, 1 there. Let's move this one. Put another one. Oop. Put another one in there. There we go. And then again, they've now got quick and easy access along multiple points to that route if they need it. And then we want another stop that's going to kind of cover the rest of this area over here. So we'll make this the kind of loop point. This will be a slightly longer route, I think. But it then provides a crossover with the green route here, which should work quite nicely, I hope. Then complete the loop just there. Check spacing. Oh, that's a bit wonky, isn't it? You can hear the buildings pinging as they're getting their bus stops active, which is quite nice. Again, always nice to hear that. No, they were better where they were, weren't they? Distance-wise. So I'll stop there. I want to stop over here as well. And then loop back up. There we go. So we have a nice bus network through our existing build over here. And we've got 3 of them that link into our station over here. Look how many people are using them. It's a lot of people. That whole route, look, it just needs more buses, I think. There's 8 on that. Let's go to 10. Add in 2 more buses. I think 2 should hopefully be enough. Let's check the green line, which has just got an insane number of people waiting. It's only got 7 buses, is that it? We want more than that. We want 11 buses on that line. This is the one we've just done, I think. Yeah. Just got to wait for the buses to turn up now. The new ones. Here they come, off the estate. Scott says, I could build bus lane roads as that brings down cars on the roads. I could, and I will start putting in some dedicated bus lanes as we go through. But as I say, at the moment we're just trying to get the basic areas built up, and then we'll start to fine-tune them and add in some better traffic routing where we need it, and dedicated bus lanes and things like that. We'll we'll see how we go with that. Scott says I should put subways in as they're really good for moving around lots of people. The subways, if you mean the metro, then I'm going to keep the metro specifically for our main sort of built-up area over here. I might have the occasional line that runs out somewhere over here, but it won't be a metro that sprawls through here. They make a huge amount of noise, and I don't really want that in a low-density area. Which is why I'm going with the buses instead. In terms of footpath subways, I will be looking to put some of those in soon. Dan's enjoying the music. It is a bit funky, isn't it? This is take a look at the radio. This is Cities radio, so it's kind of a mix of all sorts of stuff on this one. Right, where did we get to? Wait for those buses to go through. Let's check on the station. It's getting a little bit busy over here now, isn't it? I think I'm going to have to upgrade this road. Let's take... maybe we just need to extend it a little bit. For some reason the buses are blocking each other at the end here. It's got a little bit of a... not quite sure what's going on here. Why is that? Oh, I see. It's, yeah, because there's a bus stop there, that's why. No, it's still classing it as the end of a road. That's weird. Right. That's better. And now I think it's done it over there as well for some reason. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Have we broken a bus stop? No, still got blue there, got green there, got other blue there. See what happens if I move other blue to there. Apart from unleashing a horde of people. It really is like playing Days Gone sometimes, just a horde of freakers. That is a huge number of people on that bus line. It's 11 buses, 150. It's not enough. Is that 13? Let's go 15. Get an extra 4 out there. That's only got 5 buses. Okay, we want more than that. Let's go to 8 buses on that line. That line now, much more under control, as you can see. A little bit of a queue that forms, but it's calming down a bit. It's just a huge swarm of people. It's crazy. But the buses will be bringing in a nice little bit of cash, I hope. Dan says this would be a sight to see, a horde of freakers waiting at a bus stop. To which Scott replies, you should see London then. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Or any city really, rush hour. I mean, just watching people charge for buses or the tram here in Nottingham at rush hour. It's just, yeah, it is almost like days gone, just seeing this horde of people charging around, and you pack yourself on there like sardines as well. That personal space doesn't exist between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m. on public transport, especially on the tram. You're literally pushed in there like sardines, face to face, nose to nose with people. Sometimes it's extremely uncomfortable for me. I try to avoid using public services or public transport during those times wherever possible. Right, we've got the extra buses running on this route. They should be turning up, as you can see. Here they come. See how much of a dent we're making, and you can see, look, that the buses are pausing. As you can see, it's just waiting, so letting the bus pulls off. So this is them starting to space themselves out a bit better. It's going to cause a little bit of a queue here while they space themselves out, but I'm trying to provide a better infrastructure for actually dealing with all of these people. Try and get these queues down a bit in the long run. A whole wave of people moving around. Come on, buses. Start clearing through. Start to hold up the rest of the services. There we go. That's a busy crossing. We could probably do with putting a footbridge in, actually. Already got some pathway here, haven't I? I do that, and then if I upgrade this road type, to try and get rid of those zebra crossings like that, there we go. We get people using that footbridge now. Give it a second. It's good. There we go. It's well, if you change the road type, it has a tendency to temporarily break a bus line until it clears it again. A bit like when you accidentally break a power cable and you put it back in, and it takes a little while for it to suddenly register power is getting through. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. Let's check on our traffic flow. Been a little while since we looked at that. Unemployment's crept back up to 10% again. We can add in some more industry down here, perhaps. Though we are still struggling with jobs a little bit. Could maybe do with a tram line or something running from, or another station perhaps, running out here, dropping off somewhere in this area. Let's add in a little bit more industry though. start utilising some of this space that we have over here. There we go, 3 blocks just there, and there'll need to be a power connection. There we go. Traffic still flowing nicely, not really getting held up too badly. I am going to expand the roundabout here, give us a dedicated lane for turning in, because the buses are getting delayed a little bit as they make their way around, the pink buses, so that'll keep that dedicated turning lane free, and the buses should be in the next lane. There we go, they're in that second lane now, without holding up people that want to turn into the estate. Seem to be a lot of dogs waiting for buses, says Dan. Well, maybe they're guide dogs. Maybe they're sensory input dogs for blind people. Who knows? What's the next game I'm looking forward to? I think probably the next game that is probably going to be Bus Sim. It's due out in the summer. That's all I know at the moment, is that it's due out for a summer release. And that there is a new expansion happening on PC for that, adding in some new districts and a new an expansion to the map with some new routes, and I think 2 new districts. And from what I understand, they will be included in the console version as well, which is really good. So we won't have to hopefully wait very long. They should be available. From what I understand, if I've read it right, they should be available at launch on console. Still no confirmed release date, just a summer launch is what they're aiming for at the moment. That still hasn't drained all the way down, has it? It is quite deep though. I did put a huge chasm down there, so it's not surprising. Yeah, I like the idea of having a railway line coming off here to service jobs in this area, perhaps. I need to think about that one. And then we could bring it off here as well, so it could come off this way, and then we could have a link which would run along here into this station here, because you can see we've got this split here running on this main line, because I wanted to have the space for another set of trains to run through here, no problem at all, and have their own dedicated platform in here, because it's a long line. So that would certainly tie in quite nicely to that, and would help move traffic or move people around quite well. The only question is, where do we put it? I would imagine somewhere over here would be the best place for it. I need to think about that. Something we might do next time out is to add in a second station somewhere over here. I mean, that one there was more specifically to deal with any people coming in on the cruise ships, as you can see. And we are getting quite a few people using that to transport them over to the industrial estate as well. So it is moving some people around, but I think we could certainly get a lot of business on a train line that comes out over here instead, and then connects up this way and that way to that main line. I think we could do some really good movement of people that way out. So, a bit of a short one today. I'm going to call it a day here. We haven't achieved a lot in terms of building, but we have improved our transport network. You can still see buildings still levelling up as a result of having that bus connection added into them. We've got bus routes running through Dean Park, through Myrtle Heights, through Butler District, through Pleasant Heights, and kind of tagging through Washington Hills, all feeding into our station, which is here, all feeding into this station here. We've built a huge sort of number of people moving around through here that just wasn't here before. We really have kind of added more people into this area as a result of adding in that public transport. You can just see them all swarming every time a train comes in and out of the station. We've also expanded and improved our industrial estate over here with space for an even bigger expansion as the city grows as well. Next time out, we will look at expanding this area, adding in a lot more residential, because we do need to get the city to grow a bit more. And we'll also put in a station down we can use to connect both parts of our city, our main sort of city centre over there, to our sort of our regional area out there as well, and get some nice movement of people flowing through that way as well. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob. Before I go, do let me know once this video comes up, because it will obviously go live on the channel once it's processed as a replayable live stream. If you do want to see Mud Runner as a weekly live stream, and I'm thinking Thursdays as a midweek Mud Runner, I want to be platinuming the game on my current profile because I've got it on my old one and I want to do it again, and this time I want to do it with the wheel. So I've been toying with the idea of doing a weekly live stream on a Thursday called Midweek Mud Runner. If you want to see that, either let me know in the comments of this video once it goes onto YouTube, or let me know on my Facebook page, on Twitter. Links to that will be in the description of the video when it goes live. As always, you can find them on any of my videos. The links there, both on the end screen and in the description of every video I release. I put my Twitter and Facebook links, and of course on the banner of my channel page there are shortcuts there as well. So if you do want to see a midweek Mud Runner live stream, please do let me know, and I will gauge the response, and if it's favourable, then we will start doing that. If there's only a couple of people interested, then we probably won't, but yeah, do let me know. Days Gone will continue to feature heavily over the next couple of weeks. I'll be putting out at least one episode a day, every day, maybe two on most days. I'll still keep putting out some Farm Sim and some City Skylines. Genesis Alpha 1 is taking a little bit of a breather for a moment while we kind of deal with Days Gone. That'll come back to finish off. I think it might possibly end up going away completely, I'm not sure yet. And we'll hopefully get some more news of upcoming games like Bus Sim to share with you a bit further on down the line. So, as I say, please do keep tuning in, watching what I'm doing. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it too. And I will see you all again very soon.